So I bought an ice cream store and it totally failed. You'll hear all about that and much more in this adventure-filled episode of Coleman Nation. Let's go. This is a fun story, and I think it will appeal to the entrepreneurial spirit of all of the people in, our Coleman Nation audience. If you ever wanted to know about creating and franchising a product, this will be very, very educational. And if you ever wanted to sell a boutique item at Whole Foods or on the grocery channel, so to speak, this is a good little story with a lot of lessons. First, a little bit of the backstory. In 2015, 2016, my wife got into live fermentation of vegetables, canning and pickling, the old world method where you just let the bacteria grow like crazy. She had a particular skill in doing sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickles. In fact, to this day, there is no product in any of those categories that comes close to the quality and taste of her fermented products. She was essentially the Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Seabiscuit of fermenting vegetables. It was that good. At the time, we had a friend that worked at Whole Foods who heard that my wife was fermenting pickles and sauerkraut and kimchi. She said, "I love that stuff. Would you mind making a batch for me?" And so my wife did. Well, 2 hours after our friend arrived and picked it up, we got a phone call and she said, "It's gone." And we were like, "What? We gave you 6 big liter jars, and she told us all 6 jars are gone. Like, they're gone." And she said, "My family just started eating and we ended up eating all 6 jars. Every single person in my family said, hands down, it was the best sauerkraut, pickles, and kimchi ever." And if you can imagine, it was like 6 big jars, 2 of kimchi, 2 of pickles, and 2 of sauerkraut. And I was like, wow. So this is a big family of 1 to 4, but they mowed the entire batch of all 3 of the things that we sent over. So the same friend was in marketing at Whole Foods. And she told us, if you guys can make this commercially viable, she was like, "I guarantee you shelf space in every Whole Foods store in America." And we were like, what? Really? And she said, "Seriously, it's that good. You can taste every sauerkraut, pickle, and kimchi in Whole Foods, and yours blows away everything we have on our shelves. I guarantee it. I'll get you with the right people, and you'll have shelf space in every Whole Foods in America." So my wife said, "We don't even have a brand." And our friend said, "Don't worry, we'll figure it out." And she tells us, "You're going to go into a class, which everybody has to go to. If you sell a product at Whole Foods, you have to go to this class so you know how to present it to them so they can see if it's a viable product and decide whether or not to purchase it for Whole Foods." So my wife started going to these classes, and she said it was just brutal. These guys are called the foragers. And so their job is to figure out what products are going to be on the shelves at Whole Foods. So some lady presented her mom's recipe for artisan bread, and the guy says, "Bread? We already have enough of that. Not interested." Can you imagine that? Just like straight to your face, not interested, doesn't even try it. Another guy was a coffee roaster, and they told him, "Coffee? Nah, you're out of here. Not interested," right? Another lady had a special vegan cookie. "Nope, we have enough of those." Something with soaps and a bunch of other products. They just were one after the other, rejection, rejection, rejection. But then they got to my wife and she gave them samples of her sauerkraut and they said, "This is great. We want this. This is something we will move at Whole Foods." So my wife was hesitant and she says, "Okay, but I don't have a brand. I don't know anything. Just a week ago, I was jarring this up in my kitchen for my own family. So what do I do?" They said, "We'll hook you up with some high-end commercial kitchens. You give them your recipes and walk them through the process. They'll do everything for you, package it, put it on trucks and deliver it. We'll get you going." So she told me about it. We talked to the people who were going to do this, and they said that they needed a $5 million deposit to contract the equipment, workers, and supply chain to roll it out. On top of not having a name, my wife also didn't have exact recipes. She played it very much by ear. A little of this, a sprinkle of that. I said, babe, we cannot put $5 million into something that doesn't have a name or even precise recipes that people could follow. I thought some more and decided that before we made such a commitment, we should create a brand and then promote it a little bit, get one store, do some social media stuff, get the name out there and get our feet wet. Because one thing they don't tell you is that if you land a product at Whole Foods, you can do it at a single store. And you can visit our Whole Foods in Clearwater and see local specialty products like Florida hummus and Florida hot sauces and all that kind of stuff. But then you can also do several stores in one geographical location, and you can have a whole territory, which would be like, the Southeast. And then you can go by continental region, which is several territories, or you could go nationwide, which is what they were communicating to us. They said that we want you to go nationwide and it's going to cost you $5 million. So I found that they do something similar at Walmart or any other big box retailer. They told us that they would approve us at a national level, but if we ever failed to deliver, they would cut us out and we could never reapply. Meaning that if you got approved at a local level, you could go up to territory, you could go up to like district, then to territory, and then to regional, and then to national. But if you failed at one level, you could never go backwards. And if you failed at national, you're cut from the channel forever. They're just canceled, right? So we could never reapply. We'd be blacklisted forever. So given that we really had no idea what we were doing, why would we spend $5 million, try it, fail at it, and then be blacklisted? That sounds like a terrible idea. So my wife went back to them and told them no. And then they told her that we could start at a single store and move up. But like I said, once you move up, you can never move back down. If you bite off more than you can chew, you can't go backwards. And if you screwed up, like I said, they blacklist you. So we decided not to go that way. We then had the idea of getting a small kitchen and opening up locally. Delivering in one store, wouldn't be that much of a commitment, and we could roll it out over time. From there, we put together a little business plan and, set up a website. And we found an awesome place in Burbank, California, and we paid a professional restaurant designer to design a kitchen for us. But you know what happened then? The fire department wouldn't give us a permit for a commercial kitchen. They told us that the building that we had was too old for a commercial kitchen, and the entire building would have to be retrofitted with a sprinkler system. Note that this meant the entire building, not just our suite. And doing this would cost more than our whole 5-year lease. So we pushed on it more, but the fire department wouldn't budge. My wife returned from the final meeting with the fire code guy, bawling in tears. Well, I was at the site of our commercial kitchen one day, and we were really getting ready to build this thing out. And I ran into our next door neighbor. His name is John. And he had an ice cream store, a little hole-in-the-wall place in Burbank called Canal. And they had the best ice cream in the entire world. John told me that they were selling the business, and in my mind, I looked at it and realized that they have a full-service, old code commercial kitchen grandfathered in. It was completely ready to go. And so I was like, this may be an opportunity that just kind of fell in our lap. So my wife and I decided to buy that business and just take it over. We thought this is going to be awesome. John was a 5-star dessert chef who had put together menus for some of the biggest restaurants in Southern California. He was extremely successful. My wife would get next level training from him. It was going to be awesome. The demand for the ice cream was huge. Our clients were Disney and all the big movie studios. We went out to movie sets and movie launches. We did celebrity parties. It was totally incredible. We did 2 parties and a baby shower for Beyonce. My wife came back from one of the parties and said, there was a really nice man. And he kept coming over and checking up on me. And I showed him a picture on my phone. I said, is this the guy? Is this the guy that was checking on you? And she said, oh yeah, he's so nice. It was Jay-Z. She didn't even know who Jay-Z was. Unbelievable. We all know who Jay-Z is now. But anyway, she had no idea who he was, which was really funny. As an aside, congratulations to Beyonce for winning the Grammy for her country album. Just want to give her some congrats on that. But our ice cream store was really successful for a while. My wife was on the news. We had all of John's formulas for the flavors, which were just unbelievable. There was always a line around the block, and we were a stable point in in the Burbank community. But then the pandemic happened, and the city wouldn't let us open. When they said we could open, we'd staff up, but then they'd reverse their decision and say, no, you're not allowed to open. Then said, oh, you are allowed to open, but you must have outdoor seating. And people, can't go inside. They have to stay outside. So we had to install a window. And then they said, you need a permit for outdoor seating. And it was thousands of dollars. When we were about to say, we don't make enough to pay thousands of dollars for permits, they changed their mind again. They said, you don't need a permit. You can just put some chairs outside. Then they changed again. They said, we can't have you outside. You have to go back inside. Every week it was something else. Now you can't open. And this went on for months in the middle of summer, the best time to sell ice cream. In fact, that's the only time that you can be profitable when you sell ice cream. No one wants to eat ice cream when it's cold. Well, actually, we did really well in the cold too. But generally speaking, the summer is when you've got lines around the block. And at the end of the summer, we had maybe a couple of weeks out of 4 months that we've been able to open without restrictions. You can't run a business like that. So the city, through bureaucracy, completely shut us down. People always say, if you want to make everyone happy, own an ice cream store. And the truth is, no. Behind the scenes, owning an ice cream store, nobody's happy. It's miserable. For you folks watching, did you guys ever have the chance to visit us at Canal in Burbank? If you did you enjoy it? What was your favorite flavor? Would you want to be notified if we did a pop-up version of Canal? We'll chat about it with some of our friends who own restaurants in Southern California. But that's the story. That's the story of how we were going to have, pickles and ice cream. We're going to have a pickles and ice cream empire. This is one vision that never came to fruition, and and the other went out of business. But those are the challenges of opening a business that's dependent on inventory and a slew of other financial and logistical factors. Above all, though, it was a wonderful learning experience. If we had to do it over again, I don't know. We'd have done it the same way. Probably not. I think that if the pandemic didn't hit in the middle of it, we probably would have been okay. But, I will tell you this, that of all the business that we own, that one was the toughest because it was the maximum amount of work with the least amount of margins. And so it was very, very tough to win at the food services game. I'm just telling you that right out of the gate. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Please leave a comment. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you'll know when the next episode comes up. But until next time, take care, and we'll see you on the next episode of Coleman Nation. See you later.